Hi everyone, this is Lori with 3 Keys Astrology, and this is your Leo. This is for you. This is your April 2025 forecast. Now, if you have your sun in Leo, your moon in Leo, or your rising sign in Leo, this video talks about the energies of April. And the reason I'm making these, you'll go to the channel and see that I'm doing all signs individual horoscopes. I've never done this before. The reason I'm doing this month is because on my website, www.3keysastrology.com, I have a brand new reading I'm offering you. It's a written, personalized, customized reading just for you according to your birth chart. And that reading is only $100. It's for 1 month. But I will write it rather than you having to meet me on Zoom or for us to spend an hour together in a reading, which is what all my consultations entail. In this case, I'll write out your month and you will get them delivered directly to your inbox. So take advantage of those. If you want all 12 for the year, then pay for 12. They're only $100 and you get a lot of personalized information. So Leo, let's talk about you. May, I think, is going to be okay for you until, I would say, around the 19th of the month. Things can be tenuous. I'm not a fluffy, frilly, la 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 kind of astrologer. Let's talk about real life. In real life, we have challenges, don't we? In real life, we face obstacles, don't we? And in real life, we are meant to overcome those obstacles, aren't we? And because of one big, huge, powerful planet whose name is Pluto, you, me, because I'm a double Taurus, so all Taurus, all Leo, all Aquarius, and all Scorpio will be forever changed by the power that is Pluto. Pluto offers life-changing events, and we should not listen to la 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 people who try to tell us, oh, it's going to be okay, you're going to be transformed, because that's not the truth. If you don't do the work, fated changes happen to all of us. These are things that are beyond our control. Certain diagnoses, losing family members, catastrophic accidents, incidents, those things are beyond our control. Usually, these are things that could have been prevented, but by humankind's fault. And that is why Pluto is the ruler of atomic energies. And because of the complete annihilation that happens when such devices are used, and these are life-changing. It's also the reason Pluto is the analogy of volcanic energy, because there's something internally pressurized that implodes and explodes and forever changes the landscape or the life of the person. So I recommend, if you're new to the channel, welcome, thank you for coming. When you go see what I'm all about, you'll see on my channel that I love criminal analysis. And I do that because in this world, in the galaxy that we live in the earth that we were born onto, we do come across and do have to face evils and others who have ill intentions and maligned human beings, depraved human beings, and people that are power hungry and controlling and demonstrate political corruptions that affect the lives of everyone on the planet. My channel's personal. I'm a personalized astrologer who specializes in human nature, and I'm interested in relationships and then, of course, like I said, criminal analysis. Why do they do the things they do? And you guys seem to really like those. So if you have any suggestions for a certain criminal that you'd like me to analyze, please comment below. Now, in this astrology forecast for you, Leo, you'll keep in mind, whether you're new to the channel or not, the dance of the sun, the most powerful planet in the horoscope, is what causes vitality. whether or not someone's vital, whether they're weak, depends on the power of the sun. Born of Leo, you're gifted with strong vitality, a good strong heart, a good strong mind, a forthrightness, and innate leadership ability. That's the benefit. Unfortunately, you're a human being on a planet experiencing all the other planets. The next most powerful planet in our stars, our galaxy, is the power of Pluto. He's not in a happy configuration with you. And he's not with me either, so don't feel alone. Lots of us are going to go through some major upheavals in our lives that are intense and intimidating and life-changing. Nothing will ever be the same where Pluto is. I highly recommend, if you're beginning to be interested, in May 2023, you'll find that video on the channel. Pluto made its first debut into Aquarius for the first time in 243 years. Now, Pluto popped back in to Aquarius in January, but in November, on the 20th of November, I've got 2 videos on this channel if you've not yet seen them. They say Pluto plowing into Aquarius. Unfortunately, my husband and I were having our furniture cleaned, and my husband was chatting up my old friend Tim Mancari, who was cleaning our furniture, and I had to break the video in 2 parts because he arrived with his noisy equipment. I started making part 2, so you'll see me look a little irritated because they were blabbing in the background, and I started hollering so I could finish the video. But anyway, I have a temper, and so does Pluto, and it's rather explosive. And it is the dark side of our natures. Pluto is the ruler of the underworld, and he's a devil indeed. And for you, Leo, especially Leo rising. So again, Pluto 1 and 2 plowing into Aquarius is on the channel. I've got some Scorpio secrets that are way old, from maybe 2018 or 19 when I started making videos, that are on the channel that'll help you understand, because Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio. And then I have mostly the 3, and I'll link those in the video at the end of this. The one I did in 2023 that is pretty scientific about the things that are happening with this ingression. He's here now. And for the whole month of April, if you're especially Leo rising and you're born early Leo, this is an antagonistic other. And unfortunately, Leo rising, not necessarily Leo sun and moon, but come and get your personalized readings or take advantage of that monthly written, and I'll be talking to you about it. But so unfortunately, he's going to come in the guise of someone else or an outside situation. And sadly, this is your intimate other. And that's hard. That's hard. That can be the loss of a partner, so you're forever changed. That can be a partner that's involved in a criminal enterprise. All of your lives are forever changed. And because this dynamic, Leo rising only, but all Leos will have tones and flavors of this because Pluto's opposing you. So Pluto rules death and destruction, decay, degradation. When it happens against your sun, it can indeed be some kind of cancer in the body, or your moon. Pluto is destructive and deadly. And like I said, you'll forever be changed. So I would encourage you to come and get a personal reading so we can dive right in and talk exactly what it's about. But for this month of April, once April 19th comes, you're going to encounter that energy. We've got a new moon on the 28th of April where you'll encounter that energy, because the sun and the moon are the lights of our galaxy. They're indeed our eyes. So like I told Aries, I highly encourage you to do 2 things for your health this month. Get your heart checked, because this rules your heart. So Leos can be having palpitations, can be having dysrhythmia, can be having, it's a signature sadly for stroke and an interruption. Not only because of where Pluto is, but also because Uranus is in Taurus. At the new moon on the 28th of May, dear Leo, this is a new moon in Taurus, which again squares you. So, and this can indeed mean if you've got family members where you're the Leo and they're the Taurus, this is a difficult situation between the two of you. And it can be really, really hard. Like I said, something with your partner, for especially Leo rising. That new moon has an energy that I just got done telling Cancer. The best thing for you to do is to keep your circle tight and stay away from big crowds and mob scenes. That energy is really important for all of us because we have the moon, we've got Mars and Pluto in their third opposition that we've had since last fall. On the bright side, your health can be improved, but you can be a little too much. So once the 19th comes along, Mars moves into your sign, which can make you combative, and it can make you angry, and it can make you extra aggressive and kind of indulgent and a little bit arrogant and thinking a little bit too much of yourself and not paying attention to other people. So I want you to be aware of that. I think that there's no question you're going to experience life-changing events. And then some of the tension that's coming once we pass the sun ingressing into Taurus, which happens Easter Sunday. It happens to be my late mom's sweet birthday, so her birthday in heaven, and a glorious Easter otherwise. The energy of Easter is one of the prettiest days of our month, this month in April. April 3rd is ugly, April 13th isn't so nice, and April 18th is really not pretty. Sadly, that's Good Friday this year, and we all, especially we Catholics, engage in the suffering of the Lord on the cross, the crucifixion, but that's not a nice day, so be on guard. I just really want you to get in touch with your feelings, Leo, and also a measure of your any self-importance or pushing your agenda, especially against the other signs that are Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. Now, I've said this before, but I'll tell you a little secret about God and life and legacy, because I've gone back to the 1700s doing legacy readings for people that have done their ancestry, and patterns repeat. Family members look like family members gone by. And some of the reason for that are the challenges of your lineage, your tribe, we're descendants of Abraham and Noah and Moses and Jesus. And some of the reasons that these patterns repeat is because families have habits, don't they? And those habits can turn into our vices, can't they? And so that's why it's important to see lineage. Now, in my own family, I was married very young. My husband was a Scorpio. Well, that's my opposition, my shadow side, and I'm his. And then wouldn't you know, we had daughters. One Leo, one Aquarius. So the family dynamics that God, he didn't choose my husband. Maybe, maybe not. Then we can talk about fate, but human beings have choice. So in my own personal family, that stress, which indeed forms a square of the four personalities of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, is indeed what we four signs that I just mentioned are going to endure and encounter with Pluto being in Aquarius. The most affected sign of all, of course, is Aquarius. Your life's going to completely change. You won't recognize your life after Pluto touches your sun and moon, should they be there. And the same thing with your rising sign. It's an intense time, and the inevitable will happen. And for you, Leo, it begins around April 20th on Easter. Because the new moon on the 28th isn't a square to you, Leo, whether your sun, moon, or rising sign is there, this can indeed infer some kind of conflict or major change with land, property, money, acquisitions, and your security and status. And with a personalized reading, I can tell you even more details. In that realm, there will be tension and conflict. And you're really going to have to put yourself in check, because Leos can be hotheads and you can get arrogant, and things are changing. Now, Leo rules our fathers and the males in our family. So if you're a Leo who's got a father who's a Taurus, a Scorpio, or Aquarius, there can be some kind of endings there, or some kind of conflict there, or some kind of confinement there. I do want you to know that I love for you. The 15th is a wonderful day. The 16th is a wonderful day. The 17th is a wonderful day. And while you're going to experience a major change of energies on Easter Sunday, the overall day on Easter is one of the most beautiful days of the month. So far, one of the most beautiful days of the year. And because you're such a heart-centered soul, I know Leos that absolutely love God and are reverent and kind and loving. And that's who you are most of the time. Now, Mars is moving into your sign. That's a good thing for energy and athleticism and muscle strength and health. But in conflict with Pluto, it is not. So if you're reading astrology in newspapers and superficial stuff, that's not true. It'll be misleading to say, oh, because Mars is in Leo, great. Well, not so much when it's opposite Pluto, right? That's really bad. That's high conflict and tension. So I do want you to keep those things in mind. Your whole cross to bear, if you're Leo rising, is that your opposition is Aquarian. And then your public image right now has Taurus up there with Uranus at the end degrees of Taurus. It's 4 and 25 degrees right now in the month of April. And they're in the cluster of stars that are the Pleiades, which are the seven sisters weeping. And so it's inevitable that if something happens to us, then of course that horizontal cross, whatever happens to us affects our loved ones, doesn't it? And because Aquarian is who your partner might be, Leo rising, that could mean your partner's been indifferent or cold or not nurturing you, not giving you the things you need in the relationship. And with Pluto there, it can be some kind of ending, either to your partner or a sickness, a major change. And it's sad to report, but that is life. Or they'll undergo a major transformation. Something will happen to that partnership that makes it not look like anything again. Can it be positive? Not immediately when it's Pluto, no. The symbol that again, superficial talk is, oh, Pluto's the Phoenix rising. No. I know lots of people that stay debased and debauched and cause hell and wield hell and love hell and live in hell and bring everybody else down around them. It doesn't mean that everybody gets to be a Phoenix rising and all of a sudden they're redeemed and they're holy and all the sins are burned as though they'd gone through hell. No. But it means you'll encounter somebody that's going to go through something like that, Leo rising. And that's hard. And a really nice thing for you, though, is your 8th house is pretty locked and loaded, and so is your 9th house, and has been for the last month. In your 8th house, you have the blessing of having Venus and Pisces there. So for many of you, and especially Leo rising, a benefactor has come that you might not know about just yet, but somebody, somewhere, somehow, some way is looking out for you financially. It could indeed mean an inheritance, Leo, or money owed because Venus is retrograde. So you may have loaned some money to someone and now it's coming back to you. That's really sweet. That lasts for you all month long, and I love that for you. But I do want to give you a word of caution if you have to travel. I'll let you go see what I've said when I made my Pluto plows into Aquarius videos and other things I've said about Pluto. You can go listen to those videos because my predictions have come true. And it's hard to say for people who have to travel for a living. But if you especially are Leo rising, I would consult an astrologer, or I would try to do my best to land travel. I do not like there's some disruptive energy in your 9th house of faraway travels. So if you're traveling overseas, I don't like it for you guys. And if you're studying for some kind of higher education, I see an interruption or something else happening. You see the goddess of chaos is there. And Neptune just came there. Neptune's going to be there for a while. And so I would warn you about sea travel as well. Our oceans are going to change a great deal. In fact, if you love seafood, I would indulge all you can right now, because I expect a period very soon where the waters get so warm that it spoils our sea creatures and causes a lot of havoc and a lot of death for the creatures in the sea, which means that we can't eat that food. It won't be healthy for us. And we already should be really taking a look at what we're ingesting anyway, because that does affect your heart, Leo, does affect your mind, and you can do things to improve your eyesight too. There's a nice little vitamin called lutein that really helps you with night blindness, and can also lower your triglycerides. So Leo always has to pay attention to their heart. This energy too coming in after the 19th or 20th can affect your spine, Leo. And so you got to make sure that you have a good posture, that you're sitting properly while you're working, that you have comfortable bedding, because we have to take care of our bodies so that we have nice, long, healthy lives. So I think, what else do I want to tell you? The 15th, 16th, and 17th are really nice for you. I told you how beautiful Easter Sunday is for all of us. I know what else I want to tell you. Unfortunately, Black Moon Lilith moved into Scorpio. And that's a big deal for Scorpio, because you have to really protect yourself from that energy. That energy is the female version of the devil that is Pluto. And that she-devil is a thief and robs people of their happiness and their joy. And she wields a seduction that's insatiable. And so it can mean someone that we know, Leo rising, who you've invited in your home, or who is a child maybe. A Scorpio, an adult child that you have that's doing Black Moon Lilith things, like using drugs, and you've been enabling that person, paying their bills, paying their car insurance while they're sitting in the basement of your home, getting stoned or high out of their minds. You have to take a look at your Scorpio characters in your lives, Leo, because you are the antithesis of what that energy is. Scorpio rules hell, but you're the sun. You're godlike, and you live in the light of the day, and you're honorable, and you have dignity, and you cannot afford, even when it's a family member, to sully yourself or bury yourself or get dragged into hell by those Scorpio types. So you've got a double warning here in that cross you bear, especially you, Leo rising. Something in your home, someone in your home that's stealing your peace, stealing your joy, stealing your happiness, who just keeps taking from you. They're literally wearing you out. It's the same old thing, the same old control freak problems. And then it bounces over to your most primary relationship. And if you're in a business partnership, because Pluto is there, you got to really keep your eye on your business partner if you have shared resources and responsibilities, and something may be nefarious with that partner. And sadly, it's the same thing in the marriage. And then, so how you affect, and if it's your health and your family care about you, it affects them. And if it's your health, well, of course, you're not going to be able to work like you normally would, which bounces down to who's going to pay the bills. So this is a pretty heavy cross for all Scorpio, all Taurus, and all Leo, because of what Pluto's doing. And in those outside, it's other people, it's other situations, it's other things, as is Black Moon Lilith. Or are you? Are you entertaining Black Moon Lilith, Leo? Do you have a side of you that nobody knows about, and that you're doing something in your own home that other people might not know about, that involves the seductive energy of Black Moon Lilith? Because wherever Black Moon Lilith is where somehow, some way, excuse this graphic, vulgar term, It's where you whore yourself out and sell yourself out. What are you doing, Leo? And what's scorpionic? Because a 12th of you is Scorpio. Our wheel is 360 degrees that infer the wholeness of oneself. But each of those zodiac parts are parts of our character, our behavior, our traits, our personalities. I teach astrology if you're interested in learning, and I love to dabble in the dark side because Scorpio is my shadow side. And they're very attracted to Tauruses too, which kind of bugs me. But, well, it's a mutual attraction. But anyway, well, I just won't go into that. But the last thing that I want to do before I sign off, so, you got to get in touch with things that piss you off and people that usurp you and are draining you, and who are you enabling? And isn't it time that maybe they stand up and handle their own problems? Whoever your Scorpio friends, family, comrades, business partners, whoever they are. That's something you need to check on, because it's going to come full face at the end of April. The last thing that I'd like to read for you is for everybody in these monthly April horoscopes. I'm talking to you about the Sabian symbols, and mine come from Dr. Mark Edmund Jones, who was not only an astrologer and has a son now who's a famous worldwide astrologer. I think he lives in England or Scotland. He's someplace there. But Dr. Mark Edmund Jones was had a degree, doctor of psychology, and he married psychology and astrology very well. They are the study of the soul sciences and human nature and behavior and all those social studies on the human level. And for each and every sign, I picked out some symbols. Now, on the new moon, on the 28th of May, the sun and moon will be at 7 degrees of Taurus. It's a new beginning. It's a new beginning for all of us, most especially for we that are Taurus. But so I chose the Sabian symbol, Leo, of 7 degrees. And these Sabian symbols are universal themes or archetypes that kind of put an imprint or an enneagram or a monogram on your life for your entire life. Just like I've offered to everyone else in your individual sign readings, if you comment below this video and tell me what degree your sun is in, what degree your moon is in, or what degree your rising sign is in, I will tell you what your Sabian symbols are. And so this is only Leo. So put your sun Leo, your moon Leo, or your rising sign Leo. And in this case, on the 28th of May, when we've got a new moon that day in Taurus, the symbol for that day is the word constellations. And according to Dr. Mark Edmund Jones, this energy for all of you, and especially you, Leo, because of the conflicts that are happening with Black Moon, Lilith, and Pluto to you, and especially that Mars-Pluto opposition, which is downright warfare and having to fight over land, property, money, acquisitions, your valuables, things that matter to you. He says, this is a search for meaning. And this symbol speaks to the futility of trying to determine the origin or the cause of things in order to avoid dealing with them in the here and now. So it's about being fruitless when you try to avoid responsibility or you blame things on the cosmos or things external to yourself. The image of the constellations in the sky symbolizes the lure of the lovelier realms beyond, and thus the ultimate quest for experience. But the suggestion here is that man's greatest fulfillment is to be found in his or her mastering of their inner space and understanding their own experience. The stars reflect or mirror events. They do not create them. And therein lies the Pandora's box, I guess, of choice that God gave mankind So our stars are there because they're made of the same hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen that we are, human beings, and a little bit of nitrogen. And we reflect nature and its energy. One of the nicest things that you can do for yourself, Leos, are to reflect the light of the sun. Be warm, be loving, be caring, be understanding. Leo's the father. Be paternal, be fraternal to your brothers and your sons and your neighborhood and your neighbors and your church. Be that loving, understanding force. Do not let the powerful energies of conflict, tension, and anyone stealing from you steal your soul nature. In the significance, the negative side of this imagery of the constellations in the sky and how the planets mirror and reflect your choices and decisions. So are you reflecting darkness? Are you showing your Pluto side and the Black Moon Lilith of you? Is that consuming your day? Because Black Moon Lilith is like a big vacuum cleaner. She'll suck away all your light and all your happiness and all your joy. And if you're surrounding yourself with people that are down and out and can never do well and are always have problems and they're always depressed, or they're criminal and they keep on doing their criminal tendencies, they're stealing your light, your sun, your warmth, your happiness, your money, because you're supporting such negative things. And this is a time for you to really reflect and think about it. On the negative side, what this means is refusing to accept responsibility and avoid facing reality by retreating into the mysterious or the unknown. And that is when you're going to an astrologer and you're expecting a lottery winner, or when am I going to meet my true love, or you think that we're doing some kind of magic or sorcery. Well, we're not. Astrologers are scientists, and we study probability. And what we do is no different than a doctor knowing a set of symptoms equals a certain disease. Well, that's what we do with planetary energy. So this Sabian symbol, according to Dr. Mark Edmund Jones, is telling you that your greatest advantage is in paying attention to signatures and synchronicity. Accept responsibility for your actions, learn from your mistakes, and take pride in your accomplishments. But you have to guard against blaming. This is the dangers of being caught up in that Plutonian or that Black Moon Lilith energy, or the dark side, or any conflict, really. And so guard yourself against blaming God or the cosmos or fate or other people for your difficulty and suffering. Don't play the role of the helpless victim. That is not what Leo is. You are gifted with brilliance. You're a bright person. You're meant to lead, protect, and guide. And so that's one of the ones I picked. The other one that I picked for you was 27, Leo, because the did I do that? Well, I had it marked before I got on here. Where am I? The first one that I chose, I did because we've got that new moon, which is a little bit tough for you. The second one, let's just go with this random one. For those of you that are born with a 26-degree Leo, this is for you. And this is really cool. This is a rainbow. And this is about hope. So if you have your rising sign at 27 Leo, your sun sign at 27 Leo, or your moon at 27 Leo, according to the Sabian symbols, this is about universal awareness and people that work in achievement to achieve the same goals. The image of the rainbow is a traditional symbol of hope, and it dramatizes God's covenant with man, his promise that whoever remains faithful will never be destroyed or abandoned. So positive. This is it's encouraging you to apply the spiritual principles to your everyday phase of living. This is an opportunity to see hidden promises, find natural joy and delight, and to keep your soul aligned to that God energy. And again, the warning here is to risk yourself against seeking magical solutions or placing your faith in omens and luck. you know, that's just not real. But what's real is everlasting light and life and the promise and hope of being honest and forthright and forthcoming. So with that, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to say goodbye. I really love Leos. They make me so happy. I'm the mother. My first child was born Leo. And I have a little sweet grandson who is the light of my life and makes my heart swell 1,000 times so big. Leos are usually really pretty people, inside and out. And I've often found the people that I know in my own personal circle, and I've known some really incredible. When you're born around the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th of August, wow, the people that I've met are brilliant, really high IQ. If that's you, comment below because I want to see your chart. Yeah, I've met the most intelligent people I've ever known to have their stars during that time. So I hope you have a really nice April. I look forward to seeing your orders, and I hope you'll share. Be generous because you are such generous people, and gift those readings to other people. I do compatibility readings, and everything that I offer is listed on my channel, and you can decide what you need and what you want. And I hope you take advantage of those monthly written horoscopes. They're fun and informative, just like this video has been for you, I hope. Thank you. See you later. Bye for now.